Hello there. Now, if you saw my video, you will know that whilst I was in the LEGO store, I can't believe it, but I completely forgot to pick up some Marvel minifigures as I'm trying to get the Agatha. And if you've heard me say it in the past, you'll know exactly why, but I won't give any details away. But on the way home, I did stop off in another store and found these LEGO minifigure series and did try a few different tricks to try and get the one that I wanted. Now, this one has a folded corner, as whilst I was there, I tried the light trick. If you don't know what it is, it's just shining a light in one of the corners and peering through another and trying to see any of the individual elements that are in the box. Now, it worked for me poking my phone's flashlight through this bottom corner here and peering through this hole. However, I then again tried it with a few others and I weren't quite as successful, but I do think this is the Moon Knight figure. So in a short while, we'll be seeing which one I actually picked up and whether or not I was correct, as I believe it's the hood element that I saw. However, some of the gaps in these boxes were just too small to peer through, and after a while of doing it, my eyes just started going funny and I just had to stop. However, when searching for this box, I put it down with another one, so I'm not quite sure which one the Moon Knight one is. I'm pretty sure it's this one, but it could be either of them. And then I just grabbed a random one, which I think should be Agatha based on the product placement, because it was a completely new box. I got the second last one on the right at the top, which they're meant to be Agatha, but we'll soon see if any of these actually work. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, you may have come across the one where I got these two CMFs. So I've already got Wolverine and I have Hawkeye from the Hawkeye show with Lucky the dog and the Sentinel helmet, which will be really interesting to build in a mock for in the future. But hopefully I don't get any duplicates, as I'm really not sure what I'll do with the pieces from this. I mean, I wouldn't mind another dog, but they're quite unique pieces to the character. So let's open up this first one and see who I've gotten. I feel like when opening these boxes, this bit should be perforated. It just makes it so much easier to break that perforated seal. They've already broken it at the ends and they're not connected at all. So if that was perforated, it would just split open to reveal, of course, Moon Knight. So there is some benefit to searching through and trying to shine a light in the boxes. Now, as for how you can go about the ones with a smaller gap, I really don't know. There must be some sort of way you can perhaps fold it to increase the gap. You can see as I fold it, it sort of opens the gap. So perhaps I should have tried that with the other two. But let's first get Moon Knight built. You can see he does have two faces. One with the Moon Knight mask we're used to seeing, and one with the mask sort of unwrapped to show his more human face under the wrappings, which is very nice and will of course be covered by the hood piece, which I believe is a completely new and exclusive hood piece, as well as the printing on the torso, the double-sided head, which is actually really cool to see. They've printed this skin tone on a white head, and I guess I'm more used to the skin tone being printed on a black element and it just looking funny, but they've done a really good job with it. So LEGO are definitely up in their printing game, and there is complete arm printing, torso printing, side of the leg on dual molded legs, and all the details are insane. If you've seen the video where I opened the new Star Wars magazine, you can see comparing the new 3PO arm printing to the one we got with the Force Awakens 3PO. It's just so much more improved, and it's great to see LEGO still improving it and not just accepting what they've already done. This is just a unique figure, so this printing and all this detail will not be reused for any other characters. So the dedication here is unlike anything any other brick company are currently doing. You have to applaud LEGO for, I think I've forgotten a cape piece. I'm not quite sure what's in here, but it is indeed a white cape, and it's the new material we've been getting for quite a few years now. I think we've almost been getting it for at least 5 years, but it's just nice to see all of the minifigures using this cloth piece, and it would be nice to see this used more for Karmas and pauldrons for the clone troopers. However, I think there is, well, I know there is a solid reason why they're not doing it. Perhaps I'll cover it in a future video, but there is a very good reason why LEGO have gone away from Karmas. But taking a look at this minifigure, again, the detail is unlike anything I've ever seen before. even with these other minifigures, there's not quite as much detail as Moon Knight, and I'm very happy that I managed to get this figure. So as with searching through the boxes, there is a way to find which minifigure you're getting. I don't know if it's 100% foolproof, as a lot of the pieces are quite similar. Like if you got the white arms, how can you tell between Mr. Knight and Moon Knight himself? But I managed to get the hood piece, so I was pretty certain which minifigure I'd be getting. Now for this mystery, this one is completely random. I have no idea who is in this box, so let's open this one out last, as I'd be very intrigued to see if I got a duplicate of any of these 4 minifigures. But this one, based on product placement, I'll leave 2 images on screen for the top row on the left and the bottom row on the right. But this is meant to be Agatha. The final 3 on the right side at the top of each new box is meant to be Agatha Harkness from her new Coven of Chaos or House of whatever show. I don't know, they keep changing the title. But again, you can just buy a whole box for 36. It's a bit pricey, but that will ensure you've got 3 of each character. So let's see how well the product placement is. Again, we definitely need perforated edges. I'm really not sure what I'd do with the pieces from this. I mean, I wouldn't mind another dog, and it is another Hawkeye minifigure, so we've already got this one built. I won't be building this. However, the dog I'll definitely be taking and putting in my Lego City, as it's just cool to get that new one-eyed dog printing on. I think it's a mold we've already seen before. I don't see why they'd have given us an exclusive mold, but if this is an exclusive mold, that's amazing, because they really didn't need to do it, and it does give me a few other pieces for my other minifigures. So I'll move all this to the side and get on to this last minifigure. Now, of course, I'm still looking for Agatha, so hopefully we get it here, but if not, I'll be picking some up in the future. So without further ado, our final minifigure is Mr. Knight, which is quite funny, as we did find Moon Knight and I weren't sure if this was another Moon Knight. So getting Mr. Knight is quite funny when I've just got the other variant. So I'll quickly put this together for you, and as you can see, all the pieces are completely new. There is no arm printing or side of leg printing, as it is a suit. I mean, they get away with printing the legs here just to make them unique. But this is the minifigure, a nice jacket printing which does continue onto the hip piece, and again the head is unique, as there's no wraps around the front and no alternate face on the back. We also get given his weapons in these 2 poles, which I think are fairly new pieces. I know they do them in a lot of colour, but I haven't seen this sort of metal marble effect colour, which does look pretty cool and does give off quite a nice effect. We also have this black tile, which I guess is for the top of the tank, and we've got the sand for the bottom. So we do get the fish. I can't remember what he calls the fish, but this is the fish that is in his apartment in the show, and it would be great to see another series, as we were left off with the other personality of Moon Knight, the taxi driver, and I'd love to see more of this character, perhaps with LEGO adding it to the minifigure series. This is more than just a nice character to fill the gap, and means there might be more to come. So taking a look at the 4 minifigures we have so far, we have Hawkeye from the show with Lucky, which is a great minifigure. We also have, if I can stand up this one, we also have Wolverine with the Sentinel head, and these 2 minifigures were great in that they included an extra build, just like Mr. Knight here includes the goldfish. I feel like Moon Knight could have included something more than just the beetle, but it's still a great minifigure. I mean, we did get the hood piece and so much more detail than the others, so it is still very much worth it, and hopefully at some point soon we can get the Agatha figure. So stick around for more LEGO minifigure series, as not only will I be opening these Marvel ones, but there's also, of course, every year January, a new LEGO wave, and the minifigures have really been on point. And after this series here with all the printing, I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get in the next LEGO one, as next year does seem to be a bit space heavy. I mean, this year was quite winter heavy with all the different Snow Patrol sets we got, so I'm intrigued to see if we get a full collectible series of space figures, as it's definitely a way they can introduce some new classic space elements. And especially for anyone lining up their minifigures on the Everyone is Awesome display. I'll put a picture on screen if you don't know what I'm talking about. But it'd be nice to get a baby blue classic spaceman, as whilst using the baby blue classic spaceman we got with the brown one in the CMF series not too long ago is quite a funny idea. It just complete the set, as we currently have enough elements for all the other classic spacemen of them colours. But again, stick around, drop a like if you enjoyed this video and seeing which collectibles I got, as well as how you can identify them. So next time I pick up some collectible minifigures, I'll definitely be peering through the gap and trying to identify some of the pieces for Agatha, and I'll let you know how that goes. Subscribe so you don't miss it and turn on notifications so you know when my videos are up. Although I am posting every day at 12 o'clock, so you don't have to hit the notifications, but as always, may the bricks be with you. Before you click off this video, I'd just like to talk about the minifigure display pieces, as I do think LEGO could definitely make an improvement to the one they've been using for so long now, and it does take up a lot of space, especially with all the different minifigure series we've got. If you've got these all displayed, they're taking up so much space when they could switch to a better model. Now you might be thinking, well, how's a door frame going to help? Well, if we got two studs in the middle of this door frame, they'd be able to stand a minifigure in the door frame just like so. And then you'd be able to stack them high as well as next to each other. Now, it poses a problem. There is some sort of design that has to go into it that would allow for the other elements to be perhaps clipped on in front or behind. So perhaps they'd have to use the wider door elements, which definitely would be a lot stronger than the single. But even for animals like the dogs, they should include a 1x3 plate to clip it on the current plates, which is what I've got done. And you can even then angle the dog however you would like. So that could be included with the current models, or they could just switch it up. Switch up the displays to these minifigure stands, or even just add studs onto these ones and sell them by themselves, as you wouldn't be able to add the door or window pieces because the studs would get in the way. But it's just a thought I had whilst editing this video, and I do think it would be really beneficial for people who do collect the full series and enables them to display them without having to buy some sort of frame to stack these pieces in. So let me know if that is something you would like, and this time it's actually the end of the video, so be sure to like, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed. May the bricks be with you always.